of the night, not the most pleasant of sight. If alone, gaze into the darkness, I will be there representing blood's kiss. Creature of the night, don't mean to bring you fright. I'm a creature of the night, not the most pleasant of sight. If alone, gaze into the darkness, I will be there representing blood's kiss. Oh. Hello, everybody. Hi. Test 1, 2. Hello. Yes, you're seeing me, myself, and I here as the pilot chair and third chair are empty right now because actually both parties that are kind of regulars on this are in different states each. Emo Bro Zach is working over in I think North Carolina, and then we have Sasha, who is in Indiana right now, in the process of moving. So there's that. Vesper, is that you in the chat? Hello there. You mentioned earlier if wanted to join tonight, and we can probably make that work. Probably through Discord be the best way to go. We'll talk about that later. We'll see how it goes tonight. So, how is everyone doing? Checking something here. Okay. There we go. Oh, hey, Sasha. I see you joined. Hopefully everyone's doing all right. And Sasha, hopefully you're not overly stressed too much more than you can be. I know how moves go. Trust me, I did a big ass move when I moved in this mansion not that long ago. 2020. So I know all about the U-Haul stuff and all about the packing. Oh, the packing. Why? Um, Vesper says, I'm good. Got off of work not long ago. Cool. Well, welcome. I think you're in retail, so I would say welcome to the weekend, but I don't. Those of you in retail, no, there's not such a thing really as a weekend, not like us Monday through Friday people. Sasha says that I did. Just dropping off the U-Haul, lol. Got all the big stuff out. Well, that's good. Yeah, she shared a funny story how they kind of have their U-Hauls parked in a clusterfuck where they're just kind of over each other, I guess. And so she's got to the U-Haul, the truck that was assigned to her. And note to self, I guess she's only going like across the street or not even a block away or whatever. Anyway, because she's moving stuff just more locally, she could move it out to wherever she ends up going right now. But it was just kind of funny because it was in a tight, like a rock and a hard place, and she didn't trust herself to do it and get it out without damaging the truck or other truck or hurting somebody. So she did have someone there, I guess, drive it out of that nook and cranny. which is probably a good decision. But I joked with her. I said, you should probably just tease him and just say that you're practicing for more GTA Online RP. Um, I don't know if those folks would appreciate that one, but you know. So yeah, I contemplated gaming tonight. I'm not sure. Kind of have this little rush of energy. So we'll see how long this goes and how interactive it gets because we're trying to, since we're also doing this as a podcast format, trying to keep them around that hour mark. If they go over a little bit, that's okay. But I know our premiere last week didn't really count because we had technical issues. So that added the time on it. I think it ended up being about an hour and 25 minutes. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Because when the chat gets going, I mean, gets away from us, and you just lose track of time. So that happens. Move this camera here. I know those listening later on the podcast, I'm adjusting the camera. There we go. It's a little better. So, but yeah. And I know also another visual thing, so those watching the actual live stream probably benefit from this. But I decided to pull out my old school trip pants. Yeah. These babies are the ones that burn calories when you walk in them. They're the old school trip pants. Only us elder emos really experienced. Because all the damn chains on them. You know, they're worth like $100 or something like that at the time. And they weighed like, I don't know, 50 pounds with chains on them. And yeah, so that is the original trip pants. Hot Topic used to support them, and then Hot Topic changed. It's like, I don't know you anymore, man. What happened? Yeah, that's a rabbit hole we can get on another time. But Sasha says, yeah, too bad they aren't here to repark it for me. ... Oh, you're gonna have to back that bitch up in the nook and cranny. Vesper said, I love your outfit. Thank you. The chains are awesome. Well, yeah, it's one of those things. It just, I don't know. The Z generation just didn't fully get it, unfortunately. They missed this opportunity. They missed a lot of the more metal rock clothing they had just at the mall stores. You know, they walk in on, I mean, you can get them online still now, but it's just, I'm so glad that early 2000s I was old enough and, you know, alert enough of what was going on at the time. I bought my own pairs, you know. Sasha says, nice shirt. I miss trip pants. Yeah. Yeah, those of you who can't see this, or if you're listening later, I'm wearing I got it on the Trinity of Terror tour this past year, but yeah, Black Veil Brides, and it has the list of their cities and stuff that they played that last year on the back. But I did something interesting with the getup on here because I have an eye for certain styles, of course. Doing the one arm warmer, black and white stripe, fingerless glove on one hand. And then I'm doing a old school, I had this also from the old Hot Topic days, a fingerless glove, more metal stud kind of thing. But this sleeve, because it has Black Veil Brides on it, that's why I didn't decide to do both matching. So this works because it fits the aesthetic, including the Rambo look here of the bandana. I have my music one. This is a concert one I usually wear when I go to concerts or shows. But the black and white, white and black, however you want to say it. So Vesper says, I want to buy them. Yeah. Well, you shall if, you know, things fit together and they are what they're meant to be, and things will happen that way. Aesthetic goals. You can do this. you already have it, I think, in you because you come from a cosplay background. So I know you also have an eye for different styles and being creative and making something work. I have a feeling. Those who don't know, Vesper is one who is also working on. She hasn't really premiered yet, but she's gonna be on the Alternative Society of Alternative Dimwits channel and doing a video here and there. Um, Once she gets her intro video edited, so I've been advised that is very soon. So um, if I do bring her on at all, she can kind of introduce herself a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I don't really have too much of a agenda to go over. Not like last week where I had a few things and we went over and had to rush it. But we'll see. Oh yeah, for sure. I have so many cosplays. Yeah, I bet. I mean, every cosplayer I've ever met didn't have just a couple. um, yeah, that's a whole other art form. I'm not really in cosplay myself per se. Like that's not my thing. I can appreciate it though. Um, and I would go to those conventions and stuff. I know Emo Bro Zach had gone to one in Houston. That video is on this channel. It's funny how I could just reference this channel now, being on here now and not on Facebook anymore, doing this. So, but yes, on the Society of Alternative Dimwits channel, this collab channel here, you go a few videos back, you'll find it. It's Zach visiting Houston, Texas to a cosplay convention. So, oh, speaking of, there's Kai 11. That is, those of you who don't know, that is Emo Bro Zach, the one I was just speaking of, who's also a member of this channel. He's the one that is working out east right now, the one I mentioned at the top. He's stopping in right now to say hello. He's a busy man, so I'm not sure how long he'll stay, but he's busy. I guess the new kids are saying these days, he's bussing. He's busy bussing. He's crossing off goals and meeting deadlines, and he's a man of business and focus right now. So let's see. Vesper says it's literally so much money to invest in this hobby. Is why well, let me sidestep there a little bit. Any great hobby is expensive. There's no like awesome hobby that you're half-assing it when it comes to expenses. Let me tell you. And so back to Vesper. It's why I had to take a break from doing new stuff. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, slave to money and then we die. You know, it's one of those things. Just being an alternative emo and wearing it aesthetically. These clothes aren't cheap. Let me tell you. But I'm known for having a certain style. That's what turns heads when I go out and about. I kid you not. I've gone into, public when I have to go peopling, which I don't like doing normally on a natural front. And I would commonly get, especially older ladies, and I guess we call them cougars, that would come across. They're the ones that are more open. And they would just catch me and pull me aside and be like, "You have such wonderful hair. Where are you? What's your nationality, might I ask?" The last occurrence of that happened not that long ago. I told Sasha this. I can't remember if I told Zach, but I was at a godforsaken Walmart of all places, and there was a couple females. One was the leader of the pack, and she had just excuse me. We were just discussing, like they were discussing me. I was a specimen of their muse, and they were discussing amongst themselves before they reached a point where they approached me and actually asked me this next question. So I thought that by itself was kind of amusing. She was just like, "So we were just kind of talking. We were just kind of wondering, are you native?" You know, So I stand out like a sore thumb, especially around here. Being an only alternative, I think, in the village. I've not met another one yet. Here, locally, at the village at least, or surrounding perimeter. And, well, I said, first thing I did say, which I do appreciate, I said, well, first of all, thank you for asking. I'll be happy to tell you. You know, because so many people assume and they assume incorrectly. So I told her, I'm like, well, I know my long hair makes me look native. From a standpoint of what you're thinking of North American native, no, I'm not. Because originally I have South American roots. So if I'm native, which I've been told more than once, even psychic friends have told me, um, I might be part Mayan. That would explain several things. But I haven't had it confirmed or validated myself. But I could see it in the features, in the way, you know, my look, my unique look, exotic look, as some say. And I'm just glad that these ladies had asked. You know, they got the courage enough to ask, first of all, and not just talking about me behind my back at a distance, which sometimes I catch people doing anyway, and they don't have the balls to come up to me and say what she did and just ask me, you know. So, because, yeah, I've been asked everything under the sun when people guess and they assume. I've been asked if I was Asian. I've been asked if I'm Mexican. I've been asked, well, Korean is also Asian, I guess, technically. But more than not, I have stumped people. People look at me and they just don't know what to make of me or what to do with me. And that's where I fit, I guess. But yeah, I mean, fairness, I don't really run into too many other fellow South Americans, specifically Colombians, up in these parts. So, yeah. So that's that. But anyway, that was a kind of an interesting story on that. But I catch that time to time. I'll be pulled across, or someone will comment, or they'll ask me something. So, Vesper says you catch people's eyes. Well, yes, apparently I do, and I sometimes joke about that at my own expense, where I'm just like, This is also why I'm a non-peoply person. I will say, you know, and I'll be like, I need to. This is why I stay indoors. I don't go outside very often because when I go outside, I turn heads, and drivers get distracted, causing potential accidents. You know, I'm just too much of a public nuisance. Yeah, all that. Let's see. Kyle Evan, also known as Emo Bro Zach, says, yes, schools teach kids how to be workers, not creative in any way. Most subjects are never used in the real world. Well, let me tell you, there's some truth to that. I was probably the end of the generation where teachers were pressing us to learn cursive. Yeah, cursive writing. I don't know how many Generation Z know how to do it. The only thing I took from that was really just kind of my signature. But if you asked me to write a paragraph or even a sentence in cursive writing, I would probably fail. I would get maybe half of it right off of memory. I mean, maybe. But yeah. Let's see. He continues on to say, native culture is overall more healthier than our modern culture. I'm learning that with grounding in natural medicine, it's a forgotten knowledge many don't know about. And remember, Zach, mentioned that might be a good vlog material. If it's something we can squeeze into a 15-20 minute vlog or less, it might be a very good thing for your personal video that you do. Yeah, Zach has recently gone through, just since he's met me, various transformations. He's trying to better himself, mind, body, and spirit. And we really, here at the Emo Mansion, as we call it, really provide that atmosphere to where kind of self-learn and grow, so to speak. And he's also part of my paranormal team. He's a new member. He's an evidence analyst. Um, and so the spiritual stuff, and he's kind of going through a spiritual awakening. I could talk more about that if anyone has questions about it, but he's going through that now, and I think it's cool. A lot of that I've gone through similar things. My path was a little different, but of course I was way younger too when I went through mine. Um, but yeah, the grounding in natural energy usage to take care of your mental and spiritual state is just not, I don't think, talked about enough, especially in a mainstream media format. It's people wanting you to conform and follow the pharmaceutical company, for this, and medicine will fix this, medicine will fix that, and some things it might help, Other things, though, it's really it's a business. And I won't go off on a tangent too much here, but there is one thing I didn't mention about those of you who know. The last live stream we did on Facebook before we moved over here to YouTube, I was talking about hemorrhoids because I recently went through one lonely emo hemorrhoid. I was just kind of back there, and Zach was talking about how he's probably had them before. Sasha's mentioned she's had them too before. It's a thing. More people than not have them. I think up to 70% have them. Anyway, what I forgot to mention was that when I did do the right thing, or wanted to get checked out, because I'm also a hypochondriac. Those of you who know what that's like, it's not a good thing. Everything's something worse than it really is. You could be like, oh, I broke a nail. I must have cancer. It's bad, and it could be various degrees of worseness, and so I decided to do the right thing and went to see a doctor. I spread my cheeks. Listen to that last. I have that whole thing clipped out and put as a live stream clip on this channel. So you'll watch that if you haven't seen it yet. It's hysterical, I've been told, and you'll catch up and see what that was about. Anyway, so what the doctor ended up doing, though, is he ultimately prescribed me, it was a generic Miralax. That's all he did. It was an over-the-counter medicine is what I got prescribed. And my problem really wasn't constipation. But, I mean, hats off to the doctor, at least for trying. So I have that, and I really used it once, and I haven't used it. So I just thought that was very funny, because that's the most odd, unusual prescription I've ever had in my life, where a doctor prescribed me something I could go to the store and get without a prescription. But this is, it's not anything special. It's the same generic, it's actually a generic brand. It's something I could get on the shelf, and I'm like, what the hell? That would happen to me, wouldn't it? This is what happens. I spread my cheek, and he gives me a very cheap gift, and that's all I get out of the experience. But I have to pay him $165, which I paid that bill in full, but literally, that was the outcome. That was the outcome. Wow. Owen Wilson. Wow. 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 Let me catch up the chat here. Sasha says, haha, I remember. Yeah, about the ladies at Walmart, yeah. Vesper says, I'm grateful I'm getting out of my comfort zone because I love talking. I'm just shy at first. Well, that happens, It happens. Sasha's kind of going through a little bit of that now, starting on the vlogging stuff. Zach went through that when he started late last year, and he's gotten better on camera with time. Vlogging can be an art form. It's not natural for just everybody, especially if you're shy starting out. But that's the point of us doing that, is try to push each other to go past their comfort zone than what they would normally have done before. So Sasha says, "Well, you are a unique cookie." Oh, well, yep. I'm gonna write you notes in cursive now. She says, that's fun, fun times." Um, Vesper says, "I'm still dying from that." Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's something. Um, Zach says, "Hemorrhoids." Nice, nice one. That's a good one. Clap them cheeks. Yeah, that's my hands for those listening later on that can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, get your mind out of the gutter, guys. Uh, damn capitalism, says Zach. Yeah, well, that could be a whole other vlog on that, but we tend to try to steer clear of doing, focusing specifically on political related things here. But I mean, could it have been done differently? Yeah. First of all, they didn't have to charge so damn much for me to literally be in the doctor's office 5 minutes. I spent longer in the waiting room. I was like in there for about 10 minutes. And then they called me in. And I was like, not even 5 minutes with the doctor. And, he's moving from room to room to room to room. I mean, to honestly come off like they don't really care too much about what you really have going on with you. It's just, got to get to the next patient, got to get to the next patient. Any of you who've been in hospitals, clinics, or whatever, it's not your own personal health care provider that you've spent years growing to know, then they really just treat you like a number. That's really what it is. So, Zach says, "At least you didn't need a biopsy of your hemorrhoid." Yeah, well, that was a good thing. And those of you who do care about my emo hemorrhoid or hemorrhoids, duh, single, actually, not plural, did some fingering around back there, and I do think it has shrunken a bit. So, as the great doctor, Dr. Obvious, had indicated, it would just take some time, some extra time, more than I feel would be needed, but it happens. And so, yeah. So I guess I just gotta be patient. What was that saying? Patience is a virtue? Yeah, something like that. Virtue I don't always have, but, you know. So, yeah. And when I did that photo thing, kind of the live stream plug photo shoot thing that I did briefly, I put a picture up. There's like a few more that I'll put up after the live stream or later on at some point on my Facebook and some of the email groups I'm part of. I was, of course, dressed like this in the front of the mansion. It's still twilight, still daylight-ish out. A neighbor is home. Everyone and their dad is mowing here, and I kind of feel like, haha, I mowed when it was cold, and, everyone was inside because it was too cold. Sasha knows because she was here when we mowed last time. I got her to try out my lawnmower. Boy, that wasn't so scary. First thought it was, but and Zach, the first time we mowed for the season, he got to try it out. So yeah, they're getting to know the not black but yellow emo lawnmower. Trying that out, so they're getting some experience with that. Sasha says, "Got to get back to packing." All right, cool. Well, I mean, if anything, if you want to leave your app open and you can listen while you're doing stuff, that's fine. It was nice. Otherwise, nice of you to stop in at least, say hello, and but I know you're trying to get out of your situation, change your life, which I think all of us currently that are in the chat that are part of this channel have all gone through or are going through that, which is the irony of it, because I believe Vesper is also wanting to go through a transformation and leave Texas and move out of the current situation there. So a lot of similarities here I'm noticing with our channel's membership friends and family. So Yes, I listened. Oh, Zach says, yes, I listened to this while working. Sasha, we are both changing our lives. XD. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. And I did that in 2020 when I moved out here. I just knew it was I needed new scenery, new energy. And that meant I needed to leave the state. um, for me, though, when I choose a place to live, I choose off of its uniqueness. I didn't want a cookie cutter home. I figured, at least while I'm still young right now, if I want something that is um also a head turner, very much like myself, supposedly, uh, I wanted a house that was something that was just not boring. You know, boy did I get it. Even my first house was not bad for a first timer one. It was more of a Victorian-ish style. It wasn't a full-on Queen Anne. Boy, no. Uh, the mansion I live in now is like definitely an escalation up tremendously from what I used to live in, and I showed Sasha where I used to live. It was a nice house. Its square footage I think was just under 2,000. Square footage here is just over. It's between like 35 and 3,600 square feet. And the first house, let me restate that. The first place I lived in, about 1,800 square feet. I think I said 1,000 or something. Anyway, the mansion I'm in now is like double and a half or something like that. So, yeah, and I have triple the yard that I had before. Where I used to live, I could push mow it, and still it would take about a little over an hour to push mow the whole thing. Well, here you need a rider mower, and that's what I was getting into before. We use a rider mower, an actual little tractor of sorts, to do it. And boy, it makes mowing a little better, at least when you're riding a lawnmower versus pushing. Push mowing just sucks, and that's what I grew up doing. Either way you slice it or dice it, I hate mowing. I thought about even doing a short or just some kind of a meme or both, where because you've seen where it's those things where it's like goths and stream in unusual places, things like that. Well, doing that kind of like the emo goth kind of thing, where we do our own like that, where I'm dressed like this and I'm outside doing garden work. Imagine, stuff like that, where it's like that's kind of out of place. That's kind of to the normies out there, especially. But um, Vesper says I was working till 6 tonight. I love the style of it that I've seen from videos. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and if you ever move out to the Illinois area, maybe someday, who knows, you'll actually see it in person. Who knows? Like I said, it's wild how life goes sometimes, because I didn't think, if it's a year ago, I didn't think that Zach and I were going to meet in person. Because I was used to more acquaintances on Facebook, people that you never meet, um, and they're Facebook random friends. Okay, and very few of them actually escalate up to where it's like, okay, real life friends. Because there's a support group and there's a base that can exist in social media for people that don't really know you, I guess, to an extent. But how authentic or real is it? That's, um, honestly, people probably just wouldn't give two shits about you, honestly. They might say they do and stuff, but do they really know you? It kind of goes back and it's like, well, no. And Sasha was even a random Facebook acquaintance at one time too, and then her and I spent quite a bit of time together. As I've spent time with Zach too. Um, these are what I say closer friends, ones that aren't acquaintances. Um, and especially Zach, who lives part most of the time here, but he's kind of off and doing his work every once in a while, like now. But you occupy a space together for a duration of time, basically a roommate, a housemate, whatever you're going to call it, and you really learn quite a bit about each other because you're spending so much time together. And if you can do that, pull that off, and not necessarily get on each other's nerves, so to speak, that's good. There's a certain chemistry there. But him and I are also on the same wavelength of where some time together is great, but we also still need our own time. And I don't think either of us necessarily get offended if we need our own time, as long as it's just communicated as such. Just the usual kind of, when you share your space with anybody, the kind of courtesy stuff that comes with it. Let's see. Zach says, I assume 3,600 square feet. Well, yeah, I mean, especially if you include the cupola, that's for sure. And I'm not sure how they base off the square footage. I think the cupola should be counted though, because it's small, but it still counts. Every little bit adds up. And then I know the crawl spaces in the basement, they don't count that. It's like actual living, walking space kind of thing. So the basement is dramatically less than it really is if you include the crawl space. But yeah. Zach says maybe one day we'll get robot mowers. Well, and that's kind of scary actually, because the AI thing that's going on right now, everybody, if you paid attention a little bit to it, movies that were made about this what if scenario, like even 25 years ago, are starting to come true now. So that's kind of scary. So there is what we call deep fakes that are out there. I'm sure, because I have enough content. I'm content creator, social media personality, whatever. I have enough of me on here that I'm sure I could easily be clips from me, my voice being manipulated, etc., be put into something I didn't say and it wasn't me. That's scary. And I think we should all be kind of scared a little bit about that, because technology typically, and working on the insurance side also of things, this is kind of true also, things like that advance much quicker than the regulations and laws and rules and procedures do that follow. So it's kind of scary. Things, I think, are getting out of hand, but that's my personal opinion. Let me see. Vesper says, I want to do videography, so when I'm finally down there, I'm offering myself as tribute. Yeah. Well, the vlogging thing and starting out, even remotely, but from your Texas region, that's a foot in the door. That helps. And then if you do get here, like I said, then there's several collab videos that we could probably try to do in person. Definitely open to that. Yeah, I know, circling back to like Sasha and Zach kind of thing. It's like close, inner circle is kind of small, and I think that's just functioned better for me. It just seems like, and those of you who are alternative, who also antisocial to an extent, or you have social anxiety, introverted, all that stuff. I think for me, I guess I'll speak for myself, it helps having just a few close friends or even best friends that understand that and get you, than trying to be the popular kid and try to appease all, well, my example, almost like what 3,300 people that I have Facebook friends, randos. Um, yeah, inner circle being small just is kind of better for certain people like us. I'm not really the outgoing like party type person, a social butterfly atmosphere. Um, I know I can be charismatic. I come off like I could pull it off, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't really go. I'm not a bar scene or clubbing or any of that kind of stuff. I feel very awkward. Even going to emo night with Colton, my best friend. Um, it's uh, it's a treat once in a while to try to do, but it's not a comfort zone per se. You just kind of work yourself, prepare yourself up so you can handle it. Those of you who get the social anxiety thing, you get it, you know. um, Definitely much more of a homebody. That's more of my natural self, I guess. Um, Zach says, I think the emo mansion is 36 feet by 40 feet times two floors is 2880 square feet plus bathrooms and kitchen. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say don't undershort it. I have the deets or the details on it. They give it the actual number, but yeah, if you include crawl spaces and if the cupola is truly included in that number and stuff, I'm sure we have more square footage than the 3,600 and some change that realtor report had on it. Let's see. Vesper says, I don't need a million friends. I just love to have a couple of friends. Well, I hear that, you know? It's easier for me to make friends with females, I've noticed. And just simply, what's the word? Platonic. Just friends, good friends. Or even best friends. I have one best friend that, he's Colton. And the other best friend is Shannon. Shannon has been my female best friend, longest best friend like ever, since 2006. I want to say consistent. That's more than I could say for everybody else for the most part. That's the longest person I've had like regular as a in a capacity that's a non-dating, non-relationship kind of capacity. That says something because there's not very many that can connect like that. Usually your friends, your good friends, even sometimes they come into your life for a reason and then they move on. You know, and then it feels like you're, whether for good or worse, and sometimes you're starting over. And it's like, well, you know, almost like a breakup or a divorce kind of thing, you know. But not Shannon. She's been around. Even putting up with my antisocial ass because there's times where we go weeks or months without even talking to each other. She's back in Iowa, but I think by now she gets it. She understands. Yeah. Um. Let's see. Zach says, I now have 4 best friends, 8 close friends, and 12 friends I regularly talk to. Yeah? Cool. You likely have 4,000 square foot with the loft and cupola. Oh, yeah. If you're including the detached garage space, if you add that all up, yeah, it's over 4,000. I think I remember seeing the report of what the garage just by itself is. It's actually decent size. Because it's originally a 3-car garage, so there's that, and then it has a empty loft on top of it, which right now we in the attic of the garage has a bat problem. Sasha helped me, scaringly so. I know I caused her anxiety, using a extension ladder to go all the way. That's 20, 21 feet up easily. And so it was the full extent of the ladder to go up to it's a heat vent, like an air vent thing at the top that on the inside had a screen that was broken, and that's how the bats were getting in and out. And use this extension ladder, go boop, 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 going all the way up from the outside. And I had the steel wool stuff that I was like shoving in the vent. And in front of the whole thing of that screen. I know I didn't seal it off completely because I was working on the final top, like little vent area on it, and you started hearing this, and that was, the sonar clicks that bats make, and I'm like, and that came from inside, the garage attic, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I started like moving random, kind of quickly, and coming down the ladder, and I scared the bejesus out of her because she thought I was falling. I was like, no, I'm just coming down the ladder because I don't know, and this was in the daytime, and this was last weekend when it was colder here, so they would be not as mobile, maybe slower, daytime, they don't like coming out. But the sound of that, I didn't want them like approaching the entrance exit of the vent area that I didn't get to, and not necessarily dive bombing me. I wasn't worried about that, but they poop, and bat poop, known as guano, also it's nasty. It has a lot of bacteria and germs in it. Some can make you sick. I didn't want them like doing that and then pooping on me, So I came down the ladder and I said, well, let's stop while we're ahead. And Sasha was like, yeah, I agree. So we did that. But anyway, so yeah, they get up in the attic of the garage, and then unfortunately it's not much of a layer, but the only thing is the drop ceiling, and we know how those are. Those of you who've been around a drop ceiling before, they have almost like this foamy, styrofoam looking rectangular square plates that come down and lay down on a grid, and you can easily like pop them up to look up above them. They're commonly used in a lot of commercial buildings too, to hide cables. It's an easy fix to do workaround with that. So unfortunately though, the bats are up in the attic on there, then that's the only thing that's the barrier between them and the loft. And in any time that those, because they're kind of fragile, those ceiling rectangular drop things are broken, or they get soggy because they get so much bat shit on them. Then there's not much keeping them from getting into the loft themselves. So that's why we don't really utilize a lot. I don't really store anything of importance up there. Eventually, goal would be to appropriately, professionally have it fixed up, but also have the pest control out, actually remove the bats from there so there's no more issues, because it has a capability that loft does of being its own loft apartment, because it already has like heating and a cooling thing to be fixed with a window air conditioner unit, and it's enough square footage of living space, because you can see someone had it there before, because I had a wall that was in there that's been removed now, but before do anything or advance on those plans, the bat removal would be key. So anyway, let's see, and Zach says, and the Iki basement, yeah. Vesper says, I'd love to bond with all of you guys more. Well, definitely. I mean, when you're release your intro video and you're actually a member full on of the channel, and then especially if you do ever move up this way more so, then yeah, you will. I mean, That's probably the best way to do it. But get it, baby steps. I mean, just joining the channel will start the path. You know, you're going to interact with us enough on that. And Zach says they hide bats and velociraptors. Oh yeah. Oh, my velociraptor is the actual one that I have. Well, my mini one, I call it that. But I have a monitor lizard. It's kind of my velociraptor. He's the only like predatorial lizard reptile I have in the reptile. So, but it has that look of him, like that sleek face and those claws, and yeah. So I call him my little mini velociraptor. That's Lightning, my monitor lizard. But yeah. Vesper and or Zach. If I guess if I try to pull you in on Discord, I'm not sure. I mean, we could try to wrap this up with you guys. If you want to join, say a few words, and we'll wrap it up. We're approaching that hour mark. We're at 51 minutes right now. Let me open up Discord now, and can go from there. Vesper's pretty easy because you're on Discord. I think you're just Vesper. And Kai 11 is Kai 11. So I can do this. Let's do the Cinematic Gamers, which is my gaming one. Let's see if I can get you in here. Oh, hey.
Being weird. Fucking. Sorry, my mom was like, what? Confused noises. I don't know if it's working, though. Is it working? Hold on.
Let me just see here. I'm working on sending the thing.
Not going to work at the same time. It's like double inception over here, so.
Yeah.
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, now it's kind of working.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry if you hear like noises in the background.
I'm trying to make the volume higher. So.
Okay. And then I guess whenever you guys are ready, you
That's
just
better.
go to
got it.
start your video, and then I'll show you on the screen. Alright, I see Zach.
Okay, give me a sec.
I tried to call the Emo Turtle XD, but I guess that wasn't it. So.
Sorry if I look really bad.
You're fine.
I'm not wearing gothy stuff today, so.
You're good.
Yeah, I got glasses too normally, and but for my pictures, I usually take them off. So.
My hair is like all kinds of crazy right now.
You're fine. Alright.
It's not letting me see the live stream anymore. Rip.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, because if I leave the app, I think it disappears, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, I still hear your voice, but I guess you don't see me anymore, right?
No.
Yeah. Nope, we don't.
I don't see anybody but myself right now.
But I can see
Okay,
you.
I see
You can
you.
watch this in the live stream later on. Just keep a note. This is about 55 minutes, a time mark on it, timestamp. So you can watch it back later and then see how you guys look on it if you can't
Okay,
see
that
yourself.
works.
Well,
we'll figure out another way if this is, there's got to be an easier way.
It's mostly because I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Well, I have an iPad too at home, so I probably should have took it with me because I could have pulled up the live stream on that.
I have my iPad, but I think it's almost out of battery.
But that's the way
And
around.
it's on the other side of the room, and I don't want to go get it.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, if you have two devices, you can do this and look at the thing too. So.
Yeah.
So Zach, where are you at then? You're in Raleigh?
Yeah, I'm in Cary, outside of Raleigh, which is one of the main suburbs. It's quieter here. Jason's on a camping trip, so I'm not at his house yet till Monday because I have to get an air mattress to set up there, which I can't even buy until Monday. So.
Oh well, yeah.
So I'll be staying on my own until then, and then I'll be there Monday because I was talking to him earlier. Staying with him is gonna allow me to do this longer stretch easier because I won't be in the car so much.
Right.
And I can be outside during the hottest part of the day too, which will give me more energy. So.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And but I think won't be a 5-month stretch. It's really a 3-month stretch, but I'm probably gonna split it in half. I'll do most of it in May and June, and then we have that Lego convention at the end of June. I think right after that, I'm probably gonna take a break and come back home for about 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks, and then there's a anime convention at the end of July back here again. So I'll come back, and then Jason and I will go to that. Then I'll finish my and be done in early October. So
will Jason be better about being on camera than Steve?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I think he would.
Okay, that's good. Oh, cool.
Yeah, because if he comes with me in October, he can probably be another guest, I'm sure. So
nice. Yeah.
And if I call you like this next week, he might be with me, and we'll be together, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, spoiler alert, Zach has a few things coming up for those of you who subscribe or follow the channel. So, stay tuned to those things. He just sent me video clips from his Titanic at Pigeon Forge experience. So, I have to get to that eventually. There's only one of me. So, I was working on getting Sasha's video out first and then the gaming content that we did. And now I can hopefully change gears and get to your Titanic one. I'm also working on the 17th anniversary Klein Studios Music Orchestra concert, so I'm busy. And not to mention, I have Paranormal Endeavors I got to review evidence for. So.
Yeah. There's no rush on the blog, I just hope you liked. Hope you liked it. It was good enough. So.
Some of it looked pretty good. They must have changed the rules if you openly could film because it looked like you did.
Well, they said downstairs not to do it, but I kind of did a few clips anyway because
there it is.
I really like the models and stuff. But
Yeah.
they said go up the grand staircase upstairs. You can do as much as you want up there. It's like okay, so most upstairs. So
yeah, you naughty rebel, you. Yeah. No, when I did there, yeah, it was very much like that. It was just like, please no video, and they tell you to do that. Did you do the experience where you got to play a passenger or two or a crew member, and then you seen if you survived at the end? Did you do that?
Yeah. If you watch the clips, you'll see that I show the ticket.
Okay.
And I was a first class person, and I forgot his name, but I showed the ticket. Showed his story, and I walked up to the board and I found his name, and I kind of showed a ticket in his name, which was kind of a sad moment because he didn't make it. So.
Oh, okay.
I think you'll like that. And then they were playing "My Heart Would Go On" the grand staircase scene, so you might want to put your own music there, because it might get copyrighted. I don't know.
Copyrighted.
Yeah.
So. We'll tell you that because, but everywhere else it's just either people talking or just standard music. But I but I did notice they were playing the Titanic movie music on the grand staircase room. So
Yeah, I saw that in one of your videos that you posted like prematurely, where just the one of them that you probably just did for Facebook, and that was cool. I heard that in the background, and I was like,
yeah,
is
no,
Celine Dion gonna be singing now? Do I need to do something?
yeah. The one on Facebook is part of the vlog, but I just wanted to share that one part
Yeah,
because it
no,
was
that's fine. That's cool.
so.
No, it was not to no offense to those who like Celine Dion. It's just not my first pick, but yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't no words. It was just music. So
Oh, just okay. So the orchestrations or the instrumentals.
just orchestration. So
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Yeah, Sasha and I were talking about that this last weekend, where it's like, well, I'm not a huge Celine Dion fan personally. Of course, that song you got to hear because you got to get through the movie, and it's in the movie. But it's just one of those things where it's like just small doses. But that's again, me personally, not putting down anyone who likes Celine Dion. You like Celine Dion? That's wonderful. That is great, and I hope your heart goes on with Celine Dion. But it's just not my first pick, personally.
well, the ones in the music. I'm sorry, the movie is mostly it's mostly just music. It's not really singing anyway. So
Right. No, and everything else, that's James Horner. R.I.P. He's one of the movie composers that's inspired me for a lot of the music I've done. So
yeah.
he died
Yeah.
tragically in a plane wreck, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think my favorite room of the whole museum was the music room because they showed all they showed everyone who played and they had a piano there. That was I guess a replica. So I got a lot of footage of that for you, because you love music so much.
Well, thank you for thinking of me when you did that. When I went there with Angela, it was they had it was I think Hartley's, who's a concertmaster. He's a leader of that band. For those of you who don't know what a concertmaster is, they had his violin. It was well preserved. It was saved. It was well worth into millions, and they had it on display there. It was really cool. To think that came from the Atlantic, but it's because he took care of it. It was in a case. And I don't know how it survived all these years at that depth of 2.5 miles under the Atlantic Ocean, but that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and they had one chair there. They had a piece of the carpet, a few wood pieces of the grand staircase, some of the china, and then they had like a life jacket, I believe, and that's most of the actual items I actually saw. But but they did say the one in Branston's bigger, so I think they have more. So
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've been to both, but I was a little. I'm probably a junior emo. I wasn't a fetus emo anymore. But since the last time I went to the Branson one, but I remember it vaguely. Yeah, I mean, it was decent size. I think I was in middle school when I went.
Okay, so yeah, both. I wasn't sure. So.
Yeah, I've been to both. So yeah, no, we've been kind of taking the floor here. So Vesper, I guess, do you want to kind of do a pre-intro and kind of introduce yourself, because you're going to be a familiar face on the channel from my understanding,
Yeah.
and just kind of talk about yourself a little bit.
It's like, hey, what up? I'm Vesper. I cosplay, and I'm derp.
That's okay.
And I like anime, and I like horror, and I like all sorts of things. Video games.
Nice. I think you're going to fit in nicely, because that's very much up the alley of so many other members on here too. And you mentioned anime. Zach mentioned anime just moments ago about him going to something here in the future. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of
I
similarities.
play a lot of anime characters, so
Yeah.
that does pan in pretty good.
Yeah. I've noticed that.
A
Cosplay
lot
and anime
of
go
And
together.
video game characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those anime characters look emo too. So
Oh, they do. Yeah.
I think my favorite out of some video game characters I did was Joker from Persona 5. That was one of
Nice.
my favorite.
Cool.
And I want to do other characters from that series as well, since I've been getting back into it.
Nice. Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Well,
the first I saw was Death Note, and it has a guy named L who's definitely emo, and I did dress up like him once. So.
Oh yeah, I did Light and L before, and I want to
Right.
do Musa next. That's like my next one.
yeah.
I also have a Death Note, so
Nice.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, so you get an opportunity to do that here, which is awesome. Um, we really didn't have up to. I'm trying to think here. We didn't really have like a cosplayer yet. Not
now
really.
you have one.
Now we do. Yeah, we had a Juglet. That's different. Yeah, now we do. I guess we'll be the first. So we're popping our channel's cherry with that. So that's kind of cool. So it'll be a different avenue because for all the same, then what's the point? But so having someone does a little bit of that.
I don't mind though. I mean, heck, I love cosplay. That's like my favorite hobby to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll add that dynamic. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and maybe I can get y'all into like y'all borrow my cosplay stuff. I like have a lot of guy cosplays, so I mean.
Nice.
Oh, nice. I dress like Kylo Ren. That's about as far as I've gone. So.
Yeah.
I can help. I have a lot of wigs.
You might go a lot further, Zach. You never know.
But I do want to make my own costume from scratch, for the Kai 11 character.
I mostly borrow my costumes, but because I wish I had the like actual talent to make. Fabric is expensive.
Yeah.
Like, real expensive.
You wouldn't think it would be, but it can be. Yeah.
Really hard. So yeah, it's really hard to like make the outfit perfect. And I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my cosplays, so
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have to have eye contacts in and everything for me to feel like real good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually wanting to make one from scratch because Kai 11's my nickname, but it's also a character I'm thinking about putting in a story.
Do it.
So I had to think what he actually looks like, and my friend Jason wants me to call it like Zach Finn because he likes how that goes together. So that might be his real name, maybe, but I don't know. So.
Nice.
Yes, do it. Follow your dreams.
Then it's a Lord of the Rings like story, but it's also like about nature and all that. So.
Cool.
Honestly, I just say do what you feel like you want to do for your first costume, because that's literally what it is. I did Roxas for my first cosplay, and my grandmother made the jacket for me, so
Awesome.
it was pretty cool.
And my friend Kale, who was in my video last year from Houston, he loves Tokyo Ghoul, so he's like all about Ken Kaneki.
Oh yeah. So you want to do Kaneki?
Yeah, I haven't finished the show yet, but yeah, I love the white hair and all that. So
Kaneki, yeah.
Yeah, because
he's want to cosplay him and Toka. I think her name's Toka or Toka. Don't remember her name exactly, but I want to cosplay her too.
I
it's
think
very gothy.
Yeah, and and also a year and a half ago he flew here to North Carolina to go to the anime, here, which I'm going to this year, but I don't think he's gonna come this year. But I'm
gonna try to go to a con next year. That's my main goal, like after moving and stuff, mostly.
Yeah. You have to. I looked for 3 years to pick a place to move to, so just take your time, and I watch it.
Right now it's really tough because money situation is my biggest goal right now. Biggest issue at the moment.
But I have learned the Midwest is a lot cheaper than around the coast.
Why do I live here? Yeah, that's one reason.
But it's a lot cold.
It's expensive to live just anywhere at the moment. Sadly.
Well, that's part of why Zach lives with me too, and because to live in this what we call the emo mansion is a kind of a side nickname, but I would not be able to do it on my own. It would have been very tight. I would have had to either sell my vehicle and then get something like a junker first car that something like that, or wouldn't be able to just live here at all. But I don't know. I didn't want a cookie cutter home to live in
Right.
for, I want something that I'm proud of and that has character, very much like myself. And so, but unfortunately, the way the economy, and all that stuff is, it's tough. I would have had to work multiple jobs, wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff because I'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
working all the time, and that's not how I want to live life if I can help it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
something I need to do before I can move up there, mostly because I have to get it all figured out and then I move up there because I want to make sure I got all my ducks in a row.
Right.
Yeah, because you can actually find regular houses for around 50,000 still there, and but in the Midwest area, but you have to like think of what you're gonna do for work and everything. Because I do deliveries in Uber, so I'm always having to drive to a bigger city to do that, and which is an hour and a half away. And then if I need a even bigger city, it's like Nashville, 6 hours away. It'd be the close. So. And then
I wish I was a little bit closer, so it would be just like a day trip or something.
Yeah. And then but after I pay off these debts this year or next year, because I owe my family money too, which will be next year. After I get my new car, I want to do what Eric does and work online because I don't want to keep driving the rest of my life. So
Yeah, being
Understandable.
introverted,
I
working
wanna
from
learn
home
work
is
online,
great.
but it's hard finding jobs just like that.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Eric about the health needs, and I think we're gonna get a treadmill because I need to do some regular physical activity, and then I'm gonna get this grounding pad to help get inflammation out of me. So between that and that, I should be self-sustainable at home, eventually.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that, like I said, I have not heard yet, and I haven't really bothered my parents because they're going through a lot dealing with the aftermath of Grandma's death. But I'm hoping to get Grandma's treadmill. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to. But
Yeah, and it's possible Macomb will have an Anytime Fitness someday. I really think they will, but they don't have one yet. So, but Springfield has one. I do go there. So
right. So, because
Right.
I use elliptical mostly, and some barbells, and
I always
some
think,
different
I
stuff.
always tell myself nowadays, I'm like, things happen, and I can pretend like they're already happening in my head. So I'm like pretending I'm already up there.
yeah.
Yeah. Just don't get your hopes up, because life has a weird way of taking a little left turn, if you know what I mean. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
set your goals for that, though, just take your time, because it sounds like you're saving and you're trying to. I mean, it will happen if it's meant to be.
Yeah,
You'll be up here
exactly.
and seeing us in person, and actually, we're a bunch of huggers up here, so eventually maybe that will happen, and it'll be like, okay, actually hugged him, or her in person, and so yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
speaking of hugs, I that's part of the reason I want to come back in July is to give you a really long hug, bro, because we kind of missed it when I left. So,
Well, that was your decision. And
yeah,
won't go too much into that, but yeah, he left kind of surprisingly abrupt last time he was here, and he felt definitely, as we all did, kind of gypped out of that hug they normally do, especially at the time. I thought he was going to be leaving for 5 months straight, so it was kind of a like, what? Where's the hug? Where's the emo hugs?
yeah.
Where's the hug, man?
Yeah.
I think my mind. I'm sorry, but I'll make up for it. And
I'm a
maybe I'll-
very big hugger, so I mean that works.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'll have to like hug you for a minute straight.
I hug my coworkers
Okay.
a lot at work. I'm like, can I have a hug? And they're just like, give you me the one or the little one, and I'm like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
one
just
thing we all have in common. We don't look our ages, that's for sure, because you don't look a day over 29. And Zach doesn't look a
Exactly.
day over 39. So. And I don't look a
Like,
day
when
over
people are
25,
like, hey,
according
why,
to people.
You're not 30. I'm like, I was born in 1983. Yes, I am. I know my age. I'm 30. I promise you.
Yeah.
Oh, you said
I'm like, do I have to show ID to prove myself?
I,
yeah. I'm 1980, so when I say 42, no one believes me. They think I'm still 25, or someone thought.
Wait,
A lot of
how
people,
old are you?
I'm 42, but no one believes it. People think I'm either 25 or 30, or even still in high
Okay,
school.
but I understand why they would think that.
See, I was gonna say he doesn't look it, does he? He doesn't look like he's in
I mean,
40s.
I literally don't look like I'm my age. I look like I'm 12.
Yeah, I look like
Yeah.
I'm still getting ID'd, so I at
Someone
least look
actually
like I'm
said that I looked
20 or
12 when I
21.
was working.
Yeah.
They're like, you look 12, and I'm just like, I get that a lot.
Well, part of it's the way I dress and the way I act. I still very much a man child, and so I think that is a part of why so many people
I
think
have that
I'm
personality
10
too,
years
where I'm
younger.
just immature
Mm-hmm.
and I act like
Yeah.
really funny and stuff, and I'm just immature at times, and I'm like, but that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I still act like I'm 11, like 11. So
This is.
It's weird because I'm usually the oldest, so I feel this feels like, but in a good way, because I thought you were younger than me.
See, Zach gets that a lot. Going back to chat here, not to neglect it. Sasha says, "Keep bragging about working from home." LOL. Yeah, talking about me. Yeah, because she doesn't. She's in retail, so she's. But I told her is like, well, take pride in knowing that at one time you were a frontline worker. You were important because the pandemic thing. So I don't know if that made her feel any better, but I tried.
Also, I'm offering myself, if I do end up moving up there, I will like try to edit as much as I can up there.
Well, I noticed on your intro video, it seems like you're definitely, if that perfectionism, which I know being an artist of various different things, and so I understand. So it can, you take your time. um, and then, best thing I've learned with that, especially whether it be my music or video or anything, stepping away a little bit, and then coming back to it the next day with kind of a fresh perspective, and then seeing, okay, this is it. But at the same time as being a perfectionist, you got to eventually then let it go because you'll be chasing your tail forever. It's never going to be good enough for you in the mind of a perfectionist. That's
Oh yeah, I'm
my...
just like, I gotta make it like at least somewhat durable, but like I keep nitpicking at little parts, so I'm just kind of like
Oh, yeah.
cutting a lot of scenes right now to get it like where it's not too long, but also to the point where it's not because I did
Yeah.
a lot. I do that
Oh, yeah.
so much. I'm like,
Everyone has their little tick. I've noticed that filming others for all these years too. Some have. I remember in Paranormal Endeavor side of things, and
it doesn't
going back
help,
to chapter
but I get
2.
procrastinated too. I procrastinate a lot, so I'm warning you now. I'm a procrastinator.
Well, that's fine. You have your thing. But no, I learned various different things from different people. Like going back to chapter 2 of Paranormal Endeavors, I had a member of my team that always did a mouth movement. It was like, so I went downstairs and I saw a ghost. It's just he'd do this kind of mouth thing, and with time that got better, and it wasn't so caricaturized, I guess you call it that. And like with Zach, he would kind of, there's the pauses and stuff. He's gotten better with flow, keeping it moving along, and just that kind of. Everyone has their tick. Everyone has their little, their thing, especially when they're starting out. I've gotten more photogenic and camera ready, so to speak. My on-camera presence has gotten so much better. But again, I've been on camera since my first high 8 tape camcorder in 2002. So I've been used to being on camera all these years, so it's natural now. Or I used to, believe it or not, as a kid I used to run from the camera. No one would have guessed that now. But yeah.
There was times when VHS was a thing, and I had like baby videos before like they disappeared.
Yeah.
And I remember they recorded me as a kid. I'm like, that me? I
Yeah.
look like baby. I'm like, I'm baby.
Yeah.
It was
It's
It was
so weird.
cute though, because I didn't give a care what I looked like in that video. I was just like enjoying myself, and my mom was like having fun too, and
Yeah.
she was listening to music, and they were doing dancing and everything, and we were just having fun.
Because the
And
very first footage of
and
me
I
that
remember
exists.
a
Oh, I was gonna say the very first footage of me
venue
that.
that I had Lion King as a PJ.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, the first footage of me exists really. I was a fetus emo. I was small enough that I wore just a regular like adult shirt as a nightgown because it went all the way below my knees. That's how small I was. So I was probably like 4 years old, 5 maybe, and I ran away from my sister's camp because she was the one filming it and she knew I didn't like it at that time, and so she was there to do what a sibling does, and so and then fast forward, I had some middle school stuff on camera, some high school stuff, but there's not a lot that I release from before when I was in the like elementary and K through 12 because I had short hair because my mom wouldn't let me grow it out, and I just was not happy with myself. I did not like the way I looked or presented myself. I was very awkward that young, and so most of the stuff that exists of me, I kind of it's kind of cut off at like 18, 19 and before. That's a whole different me, and then everything that's kind of more out there is from like 19 to 20 years old to present day. So,
Oh, the emo phone died. Sorry. So.
oh, you're
The
good.
emo phone died. No,
It's nice. We're probably about to
not the
wrap up
emo
here.
phone.
Yeah. Hour and 22 minutes now. Like I said, I was trying to keep it around an hour, but these things happen. Um, so yeah, I guess any other final thoughts either of you have, or Sasha in the chat, because we'll be wrapping it up here, and I might jump on Twitch after. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And then move on the party over there for me. But otherwise,
Yeah.
either of you have anything to say? I know Zach probably has to get back to what you're doing.
Oh, so like you're trying to finish your anniversary music thing this week, or you still got a lot to do on that?
All the music performances that are on video are now done. I got that, squeezed that in late last night. I got finished with the violins that I did, and then I really just have to go through the layers of the editing and putting them all together, and that's still going to take time. But I had enough done, everything done that needed to be shot for it. So the theater room is returned back to normal. The green screen is gone. The chair is moved back, and so I took all that down.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's progress. So I have that done. But I knew this weekend
Progress.
helping Sasha with the move and stuff probably wouldn't have any time to work really on it. So I wanted to get it done before that. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you did because yeah, it sounds like she might need a couple months. She'll probably still be there when I get back. It sounds like, and that's okay. So.
Yeah, probably. I know she's hoping that sooner better than later that she gets her own place within maybe a couple of months of time. But I know when I was doing the house selling and buying, of course, it was a little different. But it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, because I won't need the garage or anything in July, but probably in October if I get that new car, that'll probably be more that'll probably be more than when I need it. So which will be like a while yet. So.
Well, right now the way things are looking is that she's not even gonna be here throughout the full summer time. I mean, so really we're looking at 2-3 months, if that. And she updated me that she just went ahead. I told the story at the beginning. I think you joined a little later, but she ended up moving a lot of her stuff to a storage unit locally because she just could not get a U-Haul truck ready to go. More so the price tag of it to get it out here and stuff. So she ended up as Plan B and moving her stuff into a storage unit there. So we're gonna have less stuff here than first thought of, so the garage is not going to be as full as we thought it was going to be, because I was for sure that whole second stall was going to have stuff in it that you couldn't even walk in that stall, and it probably would have been that way, but she could not pull that miracle out of her ass. So it's okay.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, I think in July the severe weather will be mostly done. So for the summer, so it should be okay.
Sometimes you'll be
I'm
surprised.
gonna try to see if I can come visit one day, so I can at least hang out with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ahead of your move, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, and you eventually make more of a just live up within and drivable distance. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What part of Texas are you at? So.
East Texas right now.
East Texas, because that's where I grew up. Is that like north of Houston somewhere? Or?
Near it, like 5 hours. It's a 5-hour drive.
Okay, so you're probably closer to Texarkana. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been through there. That's usually the way I go to get up towards Illinois. So it's through Texarkana and Little Rock. So.
Yeah, it's more up in the middle than it is like down. Like kind of straight across.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I tell people that's the prettiest part of Texas because it has trees. So.
It has a lot of trees.
But I'm a tree person, obviously. So.
Yeah, tree
have lots
hugger.
of trees. I see it every day when I'm riding on Uber. I'm like, look at those trees. It also has a really nice smell where I live. So.
Yeah, because when you get closer to Dallas, you start seeing the fields. It's just kind of the land gets more and more open.
We're more like we're in a city, but not really like big Dallas city. Like we're 2 hours away from Dallas.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I also tell people the only real Hawkins in the country is in East Texas. It's near Longview, so.
Yeah.
It's actually north of Tyler, so.
Yeah.
And people laugh because because like there's other towns with similar names, but that's the only one that actually has the same name as the one in the Strange.
Weird to hear people actually know where Tyler is, but I guess that's normal because Tyler's pretty popular.
And
I'm like, it's still like people know Tyler, but not where like in the middle where I live, like specifically. I'm just like, that's the second popular city next to it.
I know Tyler from police chase videos, which is kind of funny. That's how I know of it.
Yeah, and then Dad grew up in a place called Marshall, Minnesota, and Texas has one too. So nice. I would go through there. So.
Yeah, Zach's been a north and a south representative because he, as a little, I guess, a fetus emo, he was in Minnesota, and then at some point that Texas kind of took over. But yeah.
Texas
when I was 3. So.
Texas is its own country.
Yeah,
because that's how big it is.
All like 4 seasons, all 4 it has like desert and forest and everything in it. Yeah.
Well, Texas is a lot like Minnesota. It's just a hot version of it. So.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Of course, we know Walker, Texas Ranger was a great show that came out of Texas. I watched that, even reruns. I have every season on DVD. So I'm that nerd, but yeah.
But hopefully soon I can I have a lot of days off in between the weekends. So like I have 3 days off one day in a row, and I'm like, I could probably make a trip or 2.
Cool.
Yeah, it's 12 hours to St. Louis from Houston. So if you're 5 hours north, it might be 12 hours for you. So I don't know. So.
Unless I take a plane or something, then it might take like 2 hours.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll probably be about maybe a 12-hour trip for you one way. So like if you from where you live now, I'm guessing. So.
This is why I cry. I'm like, where did I drive?
Because we had another friend who wanted to come fly in to visit, and she lives a lot closer, which I'm not seeing her in the chat tonight, but maybe she's still going through a moving transition herself right now. Zach knows who I'm talking about.
She's not moving. She's going to stay, so.
Oh, okay. I just wonder where she's at. She's usually a regular on it. But anyway, she was going to come visit us, and we were trying to tell her that at all possible, Springfield Airport is even closer than the St. Louis one. Even though I know sometimes the St. Louis one's bigger, but for us, if we had to like come pick someone up at the airport kind of thing, that's what we were trying to tell her. It's like,
Yeah, she doesn't want to change planes because it might cause her a seizure, which I understand. But it's not that hard to to do that. But I don't know. But and then yeah. So and then she also says she's having a hard time getting YouTube working, so maybe that's why she's not in the chat. So
I don't know what problem she's having with that. I don't have any idea because
I don't
YouTube.
understand either.
Yeah,
so.
you log into your account. I've never had issues with YouTube in a technical sense. I mean, yeah, even
it's
uploading
nice.
videos.
It's kind of nice because I got YouTube Premium, so I can leave the app and and still do stuff, and I can still hear you talk. So
See, yeah, I moved. We decided to move over here in part because I just didn't want to have so many people that just wanted to add me on my personal Facebook just to be able to see the live stream. It just didn't make any sense to do that. So I figured, well, why don't we just move over to YouTube? That way we don't have to worry as much about getting zucked,
Right.
because that's more of a thing. I mean, YouTube has its own quirks where, they kind of censor some stuff, but I think Facebook's gotten so out of hand. I'm like, let's move over here. So that's what we did.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it's worthwhile to do both simultaneously, either later this year or next year, but we'll have to see how it grows. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've already had a few more subscribers on the channel that I know they had to specifically been because of the live stream / podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know how many are coming over from the podcast stuff that just listen to us. Too soon to tell because we only had last week's and now this one. So we'll see. But
yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna look at the thing really quick. So
yeah,
because if I go to the channel, see subscriptions. Yeah, there we go. I just wonder how many views we had last week. So
yeah. Of course, a lot of them came after the fact, but it's still again, it's the first one, and we had technical issues at the beginning, so I don't count that. But
yeah, it says 34 views. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so.
And it'll just grow with that. But now that we're doing shorts on here too, and keep that in mind, Vesper. Yeah, so anytime you don't have a full-on idea for a full longer version of a vlog or anything, you just have a minute or less little idea of something. We also accept that too.
And then post them on the shorts.
Yeah, because it's time for me. I'm a long form person. That's how when I joined YouTube, again, this was years ago, that's all it was. But you got to kind of keep with what's trending and what's growing. And shorts are really, because the 2 shorts that I've released on this channel so far, they stacked up views pretty quickly. But no new subscribers out of those people that I know. I mean, it didn't make a huge difference in subs, but it did seem to they have a lot more interactions in a short amount of time in terms of likes. Like there's a lot more people interacting with shorts than long form videos. So I did that, and now we have the podcast and the live stream thing all introduced on this channel within the same week. So we'll just have to see what happens here.
Yeah, and if you do shorts, you have to usually do those in portrait mode because that's how they're set up. So.
All right, I know what they're from. And this is why I'm hesitant from because they are inspired by TikTok.
Apparently, I tested something out. There was one time on one of the accounts that I had tested it out on, I posted random videos of my dogs, and I got over 100 subscribers in a day.
See, yeah. So it's just there's a math to, and that's why I do my Facebook Reels, which is again the Facebook version of Shorts in TikTok.
So I thought that was pretty cool, though. I mean, I was testing it out.
I do only animal ones really for the most part on Facebook Reels, and because everyone loves animals. They're as popular as when somebody films their child, because kids' videos also go kind of viral sometimes. So it's a thing. I'm reluctantly trying, but again, I have to expand and try these different things if I want.
I was thinking if
to
I
grow.
do move up there, I could help out with the shorts part.
Yeah,
And
because
like
I
the videos
honestly
I do.
need, like, if we grow big enough, it'd be nice to really have just like a channel manager of some, someone that really just focuses on all that technical crap, and then I could just, and everyone else could just do the focus
Like
on
I
the
said,
fun
I
part.
can video everybody if I have to.
Yeah,
And us do like random challenges and
because
stuff.
I wish stuff didn't change so much. Because when I first, it used to be all about the subs. Then it used to be the video engagement. So how many people leaving comments on your video? Those would be, so the algorithm is always changing, and it's hard to stay with it of what's in now.
Right.
So I don't want to have to focus on that stuff. That's another full-time job. So it's like, yeah, if I can give somebody else that duty, and we could just keep the content coming, and yeah, we'll do that.
You can also like take clips from the videos we do and just moments to say full video on the channel.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing with the live streams. Any highlight moments, we'll pluck those out and just kind of save them as a video in the main. There's a different playlist I created for it, but it's not considered main vlog.
I can probably make some random meme ones.
Yeah. So, but get your intro one over first, and we'll get that up there, and then that opens the door for whatever else and after that. And you being able to edit your own stuff, that saves me some time then too, because I'm still editing Zach's and I'm editing Sasha's right now.
Yeah, so. And if you ever need help editing your stuff too, so you're not overloaded, I can help too.
Good to know. Sweet.
Yeah, right. and there's no rush for those videos because I won't have another one probably until June. So.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. So.
Unless I do like a grounding one sooner, but we'll see. So.
Well, but you can always do, and I know this way to your happiness, the shorts. You can always do a little short here and there if you feel like you've gone a gap without any bigger mainstream, bigger vlog idea. You can always do a short.
Yeah, that's true. Because I want to do shorts on my own too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So. Cool. Over an hour and a half now, so we'll wrap this up, I think. And I haven't decided if I'll go over. I'm tempted to just pull up Twitch and just do a little Mafia. I don't know yet. But yeah, so hopefully everyone enjoyed this one. And like I said, we're doing this live stream here, Creatures of the Night, generally in that 8 p.m. to 8:30-ish time frame. Try to keep it consistent, but sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's closer to 8:30, but sometimes we'll start at, kind of, we have flexibility with it. It's not on 8 every night on the dot, every Friday. But anyway, Friday 8 to 8:30 Central Time is when we start, and then from there it kind of varies to an hour and a half in length. So hopefully you enjoyed this second one here on the YouTube, on our collab channel.
It was fun. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Good deal. It's just trying to keep a reminder, which we'll probably do for these first several, through our Facebook viewers that normally come in, because I haven't seen... Lupita did join once. She's a regular, but I have not seen Kira join on here yet since we moved over here. And so I'm just making sure our regulars on Facebook are getting the memo and getting in that, because it's habitual. I know you're used to, because for the last year it was on Facebook. Used to just kind of see me go live on my personal page. It was like, oh, there it is. Well, we moved it over here. It's just a reminder to everyone to subscribe. That's the best way. You'll get the notifications. I've had less problems with notifications on YouTube than I have on Facebook. Facebook seems to pick and choose what it wants to show you. So a lot of people were not getting my live notification when I was over there. But if you subscribe and you turn notifications on, a little bell, over here, it works most of the time.
Yeah, you probably have to tell ones that like Emosys and all that too, Eric. So.
Yeah, I think I don't know if China knows or not. She should, but I can check on that. I just won't go around and I didn't do this when we were on Facebook either. I won't just individually message everyone, be like, "Hey, we're live." Yeah. It's like, no, it's too much work. So
Yeah, well, you may have to send them all one. Like, what I would do is go back in the old videos and see everyone who's commented, I guess, and like, and you might want to send them a message like, here's the channel to subscribe if if you want to keep watching these sort of thing, and that'll be the only time you can do it. But it's gonna,
that's
but
still
people,
a lot of. I'd rather it be that they eventually, finally, 3-4 weeks in, be like, "Are you still doing Creatures of the Night?" It's like, "Yeah, we're over on YouTube. We've been doing it." Oh, I'd rather them be like, "Is something missing?" And then get that reminder themselves. Yeah, because reaching out to everyone individual, that's too much. I can't fit that
yeah,
into everything.
that's probably what will happen, and
Probably.
yeah, Della will probably eventually, find it, I guess.
Yeah, if they miss me, they'll miss us. They'll find their way on their own. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, they'll find us. They'll find us. Because eventually they'll be like, there's a part of me that I knew I used to enjoy and made me all whole on Friday nights. Now I feel incomplete. What the hell? Oh, Creatures of the Night live stream. Where the hell are they? Oh, I haven't been watching them. Oh, they must have moved. So, and then they'll figure it out. So.
Yeah, it's almost like spirits of the night. They have to haunt around till they find what they're looking for.
Pretty much. So, all right. Well, Sasha's back at it after packing up. I know she kind of popped in a few chats here every once in a while. Zach's gonna be busy too, so I'll let you go too, and we'll be signing off here. Yeah, I mean, if I go over to do the other thing, I don't know. Vesper, what games do you have? Do you have Blasphemphobia or Dead by Daylight?
I do have Dead by Daylight, but I don't think I have it installed yet.
Okay. So maybe
It's on my
sometime.
PC.
Okay, maybe sometime we'll set that up then. So maybe I won't be going over and doing live over there, because I kind of want to do it where it'd be nice to kind of move over there and then can game with someone else instead of game, and then by happy stance somebody else is like, "Oh, you're gaming, let me join." I'd rather it be kind of planned when I move over there. So I guess I'll probably take just a relaxation tonight then, maybe munch on something, relax, and get other photos I did kind of in my little photo shoot in the front of the mansion that caused people to turn their heads because I was out of place. And maybe post those pictures. Yeah, even Cecil, my neighbor, he was backing his truck up, and I'm sure I just could feel him like staring. I'll probably just get those uploaded instead and just kind of have a chillax night then after all. So maybe I'll game at some point this week and do it, because I need to do the Twitch thing. I need to keep that. It's so overwhelming sometimes when we have all these things and you're trying to keep them up. You know what I mean?
I'm off Monday and Tuesday next week.
You're what?
I said I'm off Monday and Tuesday next week, just so you know.
Oh,
okay. Well, in the evenings I'll be able to. I work during the days, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm off on the weekends.
I had a couple of people.
I just had to set it up and stuff.
Go ahead, Zach.
I had a couple people stop in the road when I was sitting in the front yard grounding. They're just probably wondering what I was doing.
They probably wondered if you were sitting down to have a heart attack in private.
Yeah.
Kind of were like, what's this guy doing? But they're used to. I mean, my neighbors are probably, some of them are used, because like I said, I did that Creature of the Night album on the in front of the mansion, on the front porch there, and for the video performance of it, I was performing out there, and I kid you not, someone had stopped, got out of their car, and I was so like, I'm not really a display piece right now, I don't mean to perform for you. So I actually, when he stopped, he got out of his car to come over. Actually, I turned around and rushed back into the mansion and shut the door.
Run! Oh no.
But I'm like, this is a video performance thing. I don't want gawkers, because then I'm like, I try to push myself through my comfort zone. But sometimes it's like, I'm doing this because I'm trying to do it fast to get it over with, and it was hot because this is July when I did that, I think, and just the bugs too. I'm like, I just want to get this over with. I'm miserable. I look like shit right now. I do not want an audience coming up, especially backing up the street, parking at the stop sign that's on the street in front of the mansion. And then getting, whether the family of 4 or whatever, getting out and then having an audience. No, I'm not a street performer. It's not my thing. I mean, good. Hats off to street performers. I met a few, and I get it, but that wasn't what I was trying to do. I was just doing my own thing. Oh, Sasha's back. She says, "I'm still here." LOL. Nice. We're wrapping it up, Sasha. So you didn't miss too much. I was talking about how I might go over to Twitch afterwards, but I might wait until either you are back to play a similar game that I have, which will probably be maybe soon. You're looking into that, or Vesper has her Dead by Daylight or set up, or gets a game that I have, because I play a lot of just so you know, Phasmophobia, which is kind of a cool ghost hunting game. I mean, it's one of the more realistic games that I've encountered, because they have entities that are based off of what we encounter and what it can exist reportedly. So that's kind of cool. And then, and I guess the game's also created by people in the field, so that makes sense. Dead by Daylight, of course. Mafia.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to get the Evil Dead game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And about
really
this new.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping they actually get a mod for the mommy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and then of course I do GTA on the 5M server. That's what I introduced her to. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, about this new Diablo game I never played yet. It's just a timing issue. Yeah, that's with me. And I was gonna say, next time you do a performance outside of the mansion, you might want to do it when it's cold, when everyone's huddled inside. So they probably won't come
that's
out.
one reason I like winter in particular. People look at me like I'm crazy, but I like winter because to everyone else it's cold and miserable, and they're inside, and that means that they're away from me. And so I'm happy about that. I don't have to worry about the kids crossing the street or people on their bikes, or because that doesn't exist when there's snow and ice on the ground, or people are cold. They're a little, ooh, I'm going to be inside instead, ooh. But that's when I thrive. I love the snow. I love being outside in the winter.
Yeah, me too.
So. All right, Sasha says, definitely gaming this week, LMAO. Yeah, we'll definitely try to fit that in there. I neglected my gaming channel. Those of you who know or seen, I did upload a video, first one in 3 months on my gaming channel recently, and Sasha played on that one. So I popped her cherry on the 5M, because she had not been on 5M before that. She has GTA on Xbox, but from a PC, especially a 5M RP server perspective, it's different than Xbox. It really is.
Oh, yeah, speaking of PCs, I saw a car that was shaped like a computer. It had all the lights just like yours, and it was like driving down the street. It was a video I saw, but that was pretty funny.
Nice. Yeah.
And people were inside of it driving it, doing things.
Nice. Doing things as people do. Yeah. It's funny.
It'd be funny if we're gaming inside.
I just loved your description. That was perfect. It's like, yeah, I'm going home. That's how I describe in small talk. I kind of use those words sometimes. I won't lie. When it's people that I really am just like, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know you. It's like, what's up? NM, just chilling and stuff. I'll just use very generalized things when it's like,
everyone asks me WYD, I'm just like, not much.
Yeah.
I'm just like, y'all giving me nothing to work with.
Right. You're going to get back what you're dishing out. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm killing zombies in Diablo. So
Nice.
Nice.
I wanted to get, I think it was Call of Duty 3 that has a zombie mode. Sasha and I talked about that. It would be worth it just going back in time, the nostalgia of that game, because that was a few years back, and just getting it for that mod for them, the zombie one, which is kind of cool.
Zombies.
Yeah.
All the zombies.
Right. So.
Yeah. It'd be kind of funny if they have a Titanic zombie game or something like that. So,
right.
Like you get to explore what the ship looks like in ruins, and you see like water zombies or something. So.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm sure there's a mod for that.
Yeah, and it'll probably be more likely as it's sinking. Maybe that'll be a zombie one. I don't know. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will now an hour and 50 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead and close it down now. But
You're like, you can't stop fucking us with that. Irresistible.
well, appreciate your guest starring and doing your cameos and keeping it kind of going here. Like I said, we'll do a game thing on the Twitch. Well, I'll do it for my Twitch stream. Gaming, just in general. Soon, hopefully, you get that in there. Like I said,
I'll join in.
Yeah, because I have, like I said, if you have GTA 5, all you gotta do is just go to 5M. I can't remember the website for it. The download and the file folder for it really is not that long. And then that way you can get that set up and then join on 5M perspective. Because I don't really do GTA 5 as in the game itself, per se, and especially not GTA Online anymore. I haven't been on that in over 2 years, just because it's nuts and it's crazy. That's why 5M is just kind of awesome. So it's a kind of a separate thing. So those are the things I do. I would say Phasmophobia really is not that. I don't think it's that much money. Let me. I can remember to see what it's worth right now if I can get logged into my Steam. Just.
Oh yeah, and when you and Sasha were saying bye when you were gaming, because I was laughing hearing it. Like back when I was younger, my friend always said goodbye.
Oh
like,
yeah.
in a very dramatic way.
Bye-bye.
It was always funny how he said it.
I can't remember my login to Steam right now, but yeah. Yeah, I think Phasmophobia was like in that $20-$30 range, if that. And then Steam's always running sales, of course. So that's a thing. Because
Right.
I wouldn't mind progressing on that because once you start solving cases on there of what the entities are and stuff, your character gets like different XP or RP, however you want to call it. Different games call it different things, but you build on that and you get more access to stuff. Your ranking goes up, etc. So, but Dead by
That's
Daylight's
cool.
always awesome too. So
That's cool. It's like a ghost one. So
yeah, it is. Played that with Trevor a couple times. I don't know if you've seen that video.
oh no.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a clip. I don't know. So I might have been working that day. So
Yeah. So. All right, everyone, signing off. So, all right, like I said, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which makes people laugh sometimes, which is kind of funny when that reaction happens. But yeah, peace, rock on, as we always say. Stay alternative, unique, and subscribe to this channel. Turn notifications on, and we will be back as scheduled. Right now is the plan. Next Friday, around that 8 to 8:30 time frame, Central Time, PM. And if not, if something happens or comes up, I'll usually post it also on Facebook, but in the community comment section on this channel, say that for some reason we're not going to do it. We haven't missed one really yet, but we've been late and we've had to go early sometimes, but we try to keep it pretty consistent and go from there. So, all right, everyone, signing off. Have a good night. Bye.
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 I just love how you said that. Rock on.
Oh god. I tried so hard not to do that. I'm sorry because I'm just so
Yeah.